Alright guys, so welcome back to another episode of Bwoyatingz podcast. My name is Bwoyatingz and we're here once again at the Cattleya Perfect 10 Med Spa located at shop number 19 inside the Ligani Post Mall. Remember guys, that is across from Sovereign and which is in Ligani, right? Everybody must know Sovereign, but when you're supposed to know the location by now, the products and services that they do have offering, which is a lot. But let me just remind you of them in case you don't remember, right? So Father's Day is next week, Sunday, which is the 20th. And remember that they're having 20% off all facials. So even if it is that you're not a father and you're a man, and you want to come in and get a facial, you can come in and do so. And remember, summer is officially starting, I think next week, summer starts, right? So summer, don't know the Shreps already. Everybody wants to look slim and all these things. So do remember that they have their non-surgical fat removal procedures right here inside Cattleya Perfect 10 Med Spa. You understand? So you can come in, get your free consultation. They can tell you how many sessions you might need. And remember that it's also discounted. And they do have their summer raffle. So it can be you plus another person. You can go to a resort, a 5-star resort in Ocho Rios. Remember, I'm telling you already, a purchase of a single service, they just come in and get a facial, you get 1 entry. If you come in and you purchase a package, it gives you 5 entries. You understand? So easy, quick and fast. Whatever you want, go hotel, whatever you want, relax yourself. You understand? So remember, Cattleya Perfect 10. Also, Epic Weekend, July 2nd to the 5th inside Miami. That is from Dream Weekend Entertainment and Supreme Events. You know, Supreme Man them keep Sans and all these things. And remember, you know, Sans, everybody have seen what Sans did with Rick Ross and all these things. So you guys are in for a treat, right? And so, you know, it is 1 weekend, 4 days, 8 events, 1 band, right? So remember, you have Daydreams, you have Sans, you have Oversaw, you have Celebrity Playground, you have The Estate, so you have Yush. So there is a plethora of great events outside of Jamaica, and they're bringing it to Miami. So, you know, if you're in Jamaica, you want to go, you know, it's very affordable. If you don't know, you can just click on their page. You can see all the information that you might need. July 2nd to July 5th. And again, let me give a big shout out to Drive Unique Cars. Everybody want a car for rent. Or if you have a car for yourself, you want to go country, you want a nice like a luxury car, affordable prices, Drive Unique Cars on Instagram and also driveuniquecars.com. And you can see the fleet of cars that they have, the prices, easy to use website. So, you know, if you're calling nobody and I say, yo, you know, nobody will rent car, you can go, you can pick your choice, your available dates and the amount, right? So remember, Drive Unique Cars, go and check them out. I still have the car update to give you guys, the car that I rented from them. It's been beautiful. I'm not ask guys, car fit me and now I feel like I'm gonna buy back a next car because like I've not driven in a while. Yeah, right? So remember to follow the Bamcast. My producer, Davian, of course, is here. My production assistant, I thank you guys. So today, you know, we always talk about the taboos and we always talk about the uncomfortable of, you know, topics within our society. We've heard about HIV, we've read about it, we were taught about it in schools, but today we have someone that has been living with it for over 2 decades, 20 years. You know, the HIV positivity rate within the Caribbean is actually 2nd in the world. And in 2018, it was recorded that, you know, Jamaica has over 40,000 persons living with HIV, right? So today I thought that it would be good to have someone here that can tell us everything about, you know, HIV, living with it, and you have your own acronym. So we're going to go into that. Miss Joan Stephens, thank you so much for being here.
And thank you so
I
much
reached
for
out to you.
me.
I got your contact from somebody. This is an episode, a topic that I wanted to cover. And I reached out to somebody that I've said to you over the phone. And they gave your contact to me and said that, you know, you would share your story. And when we spoke, you were so open about it. And, you know, so thank you. I do appreciate you coming here. Thank you for being here, taking the time off and coming here for me. I appreciate you. So welcome everybody. Miss Joan Stephens. How are you doing, by the way? Let me just start off as...
First and foremost, thank you for having me. And I'm delighted to be here.
You're delighted to be here. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. 20 years, 2 decades.
Yes, 2 decades. Yeah.
That is a lot. A lot of my viewers are not even at the 20-year mark yet. 20 years is a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. But you have people who are longer than that.
Longer than you.
But they're still not talking.
I've heard your story. I've done my research and I've heard you on other interviews.
Okay.
And let me just say, firstly, I admire your strength.
Thank you.
I admire the way how you're so positive. You know, a lot of people think that this is a death sentence. So I admire your strength. Let me just say that your acronym that you've know, what exactly is your acronym for HIV?
Hope Inspire Vision.
Hope Inspire Vision. Amazing. Amazing. I just kind of want to, and I've said this to you, I don't want it to be in an interview format. I want it to be a conversation.
It does flow.
So that's about a thing for the camera them there.
No,
so
I'm not looking at that.
Talk to me, tell you, fuck up your foot, you add drink a little water, and then we'll just have a reason, right? 20 years.
Yeah.
How did you find out?
Well, I would apply for a job overseas. You're home not working, you want something to do.
Right.
So I applied for a Canadian program. And at that point in time, you have to do an medical. So based on the medical, 12 of us did the medical, and number 12 didn't went. I didn't get the chance to go.
What was the procedure like for the medical? It was like a blood test and stuff like that?
Yeah, you had to do a blood test. So I did a blood test, but I remember going and did the blood test 3 times. Because I don't know what they wanted blood tests for so often. So I did mine 3 times.
Right. And
yeah.
So the first time you were the only person within that group of 12 that did the blood test 3 times. Okay, yes. So the first time, were you thinking to yourself like, why am I have to do it again? Or you just saying,
no,
maybe I just protocol?
No, those thoughts never really come to my mind. I probably sometimes people do make errors. So they just want to make sure that things is over there. So the 3rd time, I went the 3rd time, I didn't go back the 4th time, but I know they called me and said I must come in. So when I came in, they gave me a letter.
Okay.
And we apologize, Ms. Stephens. Apparently, you won't be able to make it to Canada.
But did they explain in that agency why?
They just gave me the letter and said I must take it to the Ministry of Health.
And they told you not to open it?
Right.
Did you, at any given moment, having the letter, you heard that you can't go on the trip, it ever came across your mind that, oh, well, maybe, something is wrong, or maybe just a thing, so, well, maybe them just turn me down?
Honest truth, I just think something was wrong. Because the Ministry of Health, I said, whoa, I wonder if I cancer, then find out that I have.
Oh, wow.
So those are the only thing, but not HIV.
Not HIV.
No.
So then you went
to
the Ministry of Health,
yeah,
and you handed them the letter.
Yeah, right.
And what was said to you then?
Well, when I went to the Ministry of Health, I went at the one down at the bottom of King Street, because that's the only one I know. So when I went there, he went to the receptionist desk. I said, I do not know if I'm in the right place, but I got this letter from the Ministry of Labor to take to here. The lady took it from me. No, my name is on it. It didn't. It's the Ministry of Health, It just asked my name. But she took it and read it. So when she read it, she looked at me like this. And then she says, you're at the wrong place.
You're at the wrong place?
Yeah.
So where were you
at the wrong place, she just seal it back, get a little glue, seal back the edge, and you need to go to comprehensive.
What is comprehensive?
Comprehensive is a clinic at Slipen Road.
So then you went to the clinic?
Yes. So no, I asked her to direct me.
Okay.
Yeah, the same day, because I want to know why.
You were still now thinking, say, it's cancer.
Right.
And then you're thinking yourself.
But the thing is, the honest truth is, when I used to have sex, I used to bleed. So because of having that now, I figure more or less say, I developed some cervical cancer.
Right,
so
or something of that sort. Okay.
So I said, oh my God, what's this happening to me? But I didn't, still my mind wasn't on that at all.
But let me just backtrack this a little bit. When you got the letter, what time span was that after you went to, or before you went to
when
the
I got the letter, because I have to went up by Ministry of Labor by 8:39. So I went down by Ministry of Health between 10.
On the same day?
I walked so
did
fast.
You call anybody that day and say, I get a letter, and they must say no? All right. No. So then you went to the clinic that she directed you to?
Right.
And you handed them the letter.
But yes, because when she gave me a specific time, she said, when you go there, ask for Nurse Harris.
Nurse Harris.
So she sent me to somebody directly.
Okay, so then you went there, you asked for Nurse Harris.
And I was told to go to 114 where Nurse Harris is, and I heard the letter, and then Nurse Harris said, if you know why you're here. I said, no, I was just got a letter and said it was to you. Right. She read it, and then she just slid it over to me. That's it. So when she
to read it.
Oh, that's when I found out.
And
that I
you
was
saw
positive.
it.
But when I saw it, I was staring down and I just said, well, something have to kill we. If it's not one thing, it's another.
Wow.
A nurse I would get up and say, no man, this can't be real. And I said, why? She said, because everybody that came in here cry or feeling themselves on the floor. But woman, you're taking this thing as if you say it's just, I don't know. That day, it just...
God gave you strength.
And I'm glad that he did,
Does Nurse Harris's duty, does she specializes in that particular? Because what I think about is now, you got to hand them the letter. When you said, okay, well, I'm going to Nurse Harris, I'm thinking if she specializes in that means that the other person would know, so you don't have a clue. Yeah. So then she told you right then and there.
Yeah.
Are you ready for yourself?
Ready for myself.
What was her recommendations to you? Like, did they offer counseling? Did they say, hey, this is the next step we're going to take?
Well, the only thing is that they let me do back and next blood test again.
On the same day?
Yeah, on the same day.
Okay.
And I got back the result and it still came back positive. Right? And the only thing that Nurse Harris I was told to do was to bring in my husband, because at the time I was married.
You're married.
And my child.
For testing
as well. Right, as well. That was...
So then in this entire moment, God gave you strength, and you were like, you know what? I have it. I can't do nothing about it. Let us move forward. So then she told you to contact your husband and bring in your husband and your child.
Well, when I went home, because I cried all the way home.
Right. So at that moment, you broke down.
Yeah, breakdown. Because during the process of in there, nothing didn't
never really resonate in you.
No.
Did it resonate any at all?
Not at all. It resonates on my way out. So when I went home, I told my husband that I need the nurse at the clinic said, I'm bringing you and my child.
How old was your son at that time?
At the time, my son was just 4.
4 years old.
4 years old.
Okay, so then you brought in your husband and the child the next day?
To give me a date when to come.
Okay, a date. Right. So then when you go home now, right, and you tell your husband this, what was his reaction?
The funniest thing, he didn't have no reaction.
He didn't say anything?
No. But he just came with me when the time comes.
So him never asking a question, he never said nothing?
No.
He never asked about infidelities?
That's the thing that puzzles me.
He didn't say anything to you?
He didn't say nothing at all.
So within this period of time, did you tell anybody else, a family member?
My mom.
You told your mother?
Yes, I told my mom.
What was that conversation like?
We didn't have a conversation. My mom just started to sing.
Oh, she started singing.
One day at a time, sweet Jesus. Yes. Wow. She just started to sing. Basically, you hear about people when they found out that they're HIV positive. They don't tell nobody, or they go home, and if they do tell somebody, the rejection that they get. But give God thanks, I didn't get that.
How long after was the other appointment? About a couple of weeks?
It was a week after.
A week after.
It was just a week.
So I just want to kind of understand in the household, with you and your husband, you guys are there for a week. He found out that you're HIV positive. He didn't ask any question initially.
No.
The entire week, you guys spoke about it any at all?
No.
Nothing? No conversation?
No conversation at all.
In your mind, did you think that he knew that he had it?
The honest truth, no.
No.
I don't think along that line. The only thing that was really puzzling me was I wondering if my son had it.
Right. That was your only concern.
Young. Yes. Right.
So then you brought in both of them. You guys got tested again.
Right. Not me. Just the two
both
of them. Right.
Your son was not positive, thanks be to God.
God, wow. Yeah, that's right.
So then there was a kind of like a sigh of relief for you to say, hey. But then your husband.
Right. Because when we went, he got the test and we have to go back for the result. So the result, there's good news, there's bad news. I want the good news first. The good news is the baby is okay.
Love that.
So when I said, all right, then you can go tell it. But he stayed longer than when I went the first time with the nurse. I don't know why. So when he came out, I said, what is really going on? How this occur? Me asked the same question too. That's what he said to me.
To you.
But I said, I didn't ask when I said you were supposed to come in for the test. So here what? This is not the place for this type of conversation. Wait till when we go home.
So when we go home now,
when we go home now, then we start to talk about it.
So at this moment,
all along you didn't ask me nothing.
So he didn't ask you anything before. So now he realized that he was positive.
Right.
He's now kind of saying it was you.
Right. But he didn't really, to be honest, said it was me give it to him. He just wanted to know how it occurs. And I told him that I only hope and pray to God that it's not me. That's what I did. Because we got married, and although we got married...
You were married for?
Just Nearly a year. We didn't really mind for no long period of time.
Nearly a year before you found out. So
right.
the possibility that...
Okay. It was in between that section.
So my thing is, did you ever find out if he was the one that gave it to you?
Well, on his dying bed, that's what he said he did.
On his dying bed? How long after?
I did stop checking up because when I got married, my son was 5. Oh, yeah. It's a long after because my son was going primary school. Basic school, 6 years old at basic school. He was still up and going on because everybody found out that he's positive.
How? How did they find out?
He wasn't taking his meds. And start to break out in sores.
Sores and stuff
so
like that.
So he started to develop full-blown AIDS.
Okay, so before we go to him, so then on his dying bed, he confessed that he was the one. So he knew before the test?
It seems obvious. That's what I was wondering, and he didn't say anything to me at all.
Wow. Okay.
And I figure more or less, I was wondering at one point in time if he had really knew before I took him. Because how can I come home and say something
and
to
you didn't say anything.
That, and you didn't say anything at all to me, you know?
My question now is, after you've both gotten your results, positive results, what was the procedure like in terms of, did the clinic offers you or offered counseling? What was the procedure now?
Honestly, I didn't get no counseling.
They never get no counseling at all. So what them say no? Them say
you just come clinic, take your medication, and that's it.
So you go to the clinic every month for medications?
At that time.
At that particular time?
Yeah, because you know sometimes it call it that at time it was just evolving as all
in Jamaica, really?
Right. So the clinic is just that.
So when you go to clinic, people didn't know at that time like what were you there for?
No.
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 So then now you're taking your medications.
Before I start taking the meds, you know, I was reasoning with the doc. So based on what I have, do I have to take meds? And he said yes, because what the medication does is keep the virus under control. And once you start taking it, you cannot stop.
Wow. That's so it's a forever and ever thing, basically. You have to take it every day. Is it one pill every day?
That time I was taking 9 pills. It's not like now where I'm only taking 2. It was
so you're taking 9 pills every single day?
Every single day. Every day.
So Mr. Joan, tell me the truth now. In this moment, you never feel like
giving up?
Yeah. Any at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if I sit here, I'll be lying. You know, I don't want anybody to feel say you go through this thing and it just fine and dandy because it is now. No, of course. I felt like giving up. But there was this little old lady that each time I go around our house, because I remember when I go to buy my meds, how expensive it was. And here I'm not working, I don't have a job. So I wanted to give up.
The medications were expensive?
Yes, very.
9 pill a day?
9 pill a day.
So then you go to the clinic, they would give you the pills, you buy them?
They wouldn't give the pill. Them time they never free like
so them give you a prescription.
Them give the prescription
and then you have to fill it. So when you have full of prescription now,
you get to hear the
them
price.
would know them time then at the pharmacy know that what you're there for.
Right.
Did you feel like in that moment like you were being judged by the pharmacist, by the persons in the medical field?
No. Because at the time I went to, I think it's Marasco Road, where you have cancer societies, when you go up Mountain View, when you go Artio. That's where I went.
Okay.
Because somebody told me that I can go there. And I tell her, when the lady give me the cost of the meds, I said, I can't afford this. She said, all right, then you have money, you can buy 2 weeks supply. So every 2 weeks,
you went back.
I would have to wait there. Wow. And one day I break down and start to cry because I really couldn't afford it. Yes. And then she recommended me to Lasco, where we get it more affordable because you get the generic. They had the brand name. Lasco had the generic ones. So I went to Lasco and I started it then.
You started to take your meds. 9 pills a day is a hard task. I can't even imagine.
I tell you.
I can't even remember. I don't even take vitamins because I can't even remember taking something there. So 9 pills a day, boy, I tell you, Miss Joan, Jesus. I'm having goosebumps, believe me. All right. Did you tell anybody else now, with you now having it, you're trying to get it under control, you're trying to live with it and understand now that, hey, I have this, it's not going away. You tell nobody else?
Remember when I went home, I want to tell Mom.
You told your mother?
And Mom, my sister was there, my daughter. So there are times when I break down and start to cry. Worse if I comb my ear and I see a strand up out. I say,
yes, your hair used to fall out?
No, it's never used to fall out. But normally come my ear doesn't normally strand will leave because of the mind concept.
Your mindset. Okay, my thing now is, physically,
Yeah.
did you feel any illnesses, like you
No.
feel weak, none of them stuff there?
No.
Because that is a misconception as well. You know, people
Exactly.
always feel like say, everybody will have it, them lose weight.
Yes, I did lose weight.
You did lose weight.
Yeah, I got
Was it
a
because of the
little
medication?
I don't know, to
don't
be
know?
honest, because I was a fat, but at the same time you could know because my face started to look draggish and little bit thin, but not maga.
Okay.
But you know the average weight.
So you never did feel weak, you never feel none of them
No, I
stuff.
didn't have no
You're
diarrhea.
perfectly fine.
The symptoms that they say comes with it, I didn't have.
What are some of the symptoms though that
They
you...
said you lose loss of weight is one thing. You end up have diarrhea, that's another. They said you have diarrhea, you have vomiting, which I didn't have. So I just didn't have nothing at all.
But then now, your husband was not taking his medication. So can you now tell us the difference between your husband's symptoms and yours at that particular time? Because you said that he had sores.
Yes.
Yes.
And I can tell you the difference in me and my husband's symptoms. I couldn't tell you what symptoms he has.
Because
we weren't living together.
Oh, y'all separated?
Yeah.
Was it because of the virus?
I don't know. He just decided to keep himself to himself.
Was it because
I was
like,
at
he
my
mentally
mom.
took it different
I think
than
so.
you did?
I think so.
So then he didn't take his meds. And then
No.
he started to lose a lot of
Lots of
weight.
weight, right.
And the sores. And then people now start to
started
assume that it was it.
Yes, because he always start to wear tall sleeve clothes to hide that those on him. And him getting thinner and thinner.
So people just start talking and
and just
start saying,
people
yeah,
that him have.
So they don't know, them start saying, him out. Did they ever at any given moment now start to say, well, Miss Joan must have it today, you know?
Yeah, man, of course they do.
Yes.
But Joan never care.
You never care.
No. Till even my son, they used to say to him, so him to eat from his mother. And him say, better my mother kill me than anybody else because she bring me come here. And no, make me stop eat from my mom. And no, make me turn my mind from my mom. She is my mom.
Did it destroy you mentally? Like,
Yes, I think it did because I used to think about it a lot. I think about it a lot. Yes, I was at work, still going to work, doing my job. Whenever they ask about my husband, I tell people that who didn't know that he met in an accident and dead.
right,
And
we're
never tell
going to go
anybody.
there. Remember, we're going to Miss Joan. Okay, so your community started to find out because
Yes,
of your husband. Your job now.
My job now, well, I was working in a prominent company, right? And one day my boss called me in and said, she hear something, so she wants to know if it's true. I said, well, you hear? I said, no, sir, I can't kill him. Nothing no good, sir.
So it was after
because
your
I
husband's death?
I wasn't equipped to talk about it. Yes, he did die at the time.
So your husband died, and he died from your belief of...
Yeah, he developed full-blown
So he
AIDS.
then developed
Yeah,
AIDS.
Yeah,
And then he died.
and he died.
How was you feeling at that given moment? Kind of just walk us through.
Before the death.
Yeah, he got very ill.
But before he got very ill, he used to come and visit his son. So I remember one day when he came and called his son, and I spot him, and make his turn around immediately. Honestly,
So never talk and then something
No,
was doing?
we didn't, because it's as if, I don't know, I just didn't want nothing to do with him, not because of him being HIV positive, but the commitment that we made, that we said for better, for worse, through sickness and through
he
health.
left you.
And he left me.
To deal with it by himself. I don't know how you go through it.
Until.
So you just didn't want...
No, I
didn't
didn't
have
want
anything at
anything
all to do with him. You just say, you wanna? Yeah,
No,
okay.
I just didn't
Then he
want
got ill.
So with that time now, I tell myself when I see him that him losing weight and getting so slim, knowing the fact that I am also positive too, I said, Father God, I want to remember my husband as the person that I married, looking handsome and nice. I don't want to seem like that. So I don't want that vision to be in my head. I just want to remember him as is. So each time that he comes and calls, I just hear the voice and say, Daddy's outside to you. I never stopped my son to go and look for his father. I never stopped him from having that relationship with them. I just didn't go. And it's not because of him, it was because of his family, because they were saying I was the one.
Oh, so his family blamed you.
Right, they blamed me.
In the moment now of your son was getting older before his father passed,
Yeah.
did you guys let him know that you were
he
positive?
knows. Yeah,
So
I
he
didn't
knew
know.
in
He
that
knew
moment.
from- he
So
did.
then he got gravely ill.
Yeah.
And how long after did he pass?
About 9 months, 8 months after.
8 months after.
He passed away.
So then he passed away, and I'm assuming that your close friends now would know that you're also positive.
Oh, right.
And then your
Everybody
close
has
friends
friends.
now would know that that's why he died. So the
Right.
family and friends knew. Then you know, was just telling people who are not close to you that he passed on.
Because of his
a car
accident.
accident. So you never want him to know, say,
No.
AIDS. You just tell
Because
him,
it's
say,
work. And I didn't want to lose my job.
wow.
You know, so I keep it like that.
So
but
you
it
told
is
them
not
that
who you know, it's who knows you.
So then the people them in the workplace know, them start
Eventually,
chat.
So there's somebody who's definitely no.
Went and started to.
But she telling in a cycle.
Let me also backtrack again, because it's while you're talking to me, like different things just, I have so many questions to ask you, right? People around you that you are close to, family or friends, it can be friends. Did they start to
discriminate me?
Discriminate you, treat you differently?
If they do it, I don't know.
They never want to eat from you, never want to drink from you. Because I mean, that is one of the stigma.
Oh God, it's the biggest stigma.
We know, all from we were educated, but we know so we can't get it. But why I don't want to eat, we don't want to drink, we don't want that.
You're sidetracked. But as
so nobody
said,
never treat you differently?
If they even do it, I don't know.
Okay.
Because I don't really... I remember one day I was going to work and I was at the bus stop, waiting on the bus. And somebody was passing and I pine on the bus. Because you know, you find out what you have, you know, based on what you hear, you're going to still be timid in what you do. So there I am, and I said, you look at me, if you try to sure about yourself.
So them they know?
Yeah.
And them
so one and two people and pipe me out. Somebody else like, yeah,
how did you feel in your community though? Like, when people start find out?
But the worst thing about it, you know, although when I know they found out, I still walk and hold my head high.
I love that about you.
You know, I'm not going to let you, because of you, I hold my head in shame. Because I had nothing to be ashamed about.
Right.
We were all having fun, and this fun give us what we have.
Right.
Because if we know, we would have done something different, but you just never know. As I tell people, when I found out that happened to him, and although he died, these 2 knees, I go down on him and I pray and I say, God, if it's me, I ask the Lord to forgive me, but also forgive him too.
So then before he died, because then I remember you were saying that he told you on his deathbed that
he got it from a young girl at school. I used to go to stats.
So he knew.
And basically he don't, and he never tell him. And he had to come out because of how the family was dealing with me.
Right, so he then
So he tell them, say, leave my wife alone. She wasn't the one who gave me what I have.
Did you resent him any at all now after he confessed that, hey, I was one that I gave you this virus? You never feel nothing against him after that?
No. It just teach me what it is nice. What
his family like forgave you?
Well, yes, we're more better now in relationship-wise.
I love that.
But what it teaches me is how honesty is very important.
Honesty is the best policy.
Right.
So your job start to find out. People in your workplace now start to chat and them talk and them go on and them...
Lord, them know
and them throw a word and them go on with themselves.
Did them even throw a word, me no know, but what they used to do is now, and now when sometimes I do merchandising in the company where I was working, so I would go and work for someone. So one day I went and worked for this individual. So when I went and worked for her, she returned to work the following day. And somebody said to her, one lady come work for you. Wow, I love how she attire herself. Her remarks is, I know so she have AIDS though. I heard about the conversation.
But that's a fair place. But when I give your props to you just nice, that's not fair.
Come on, people do not allow you to do things on your terms. Because we have to realize that people who are HIV positive is because of how society deals with them. They're not coming out and telling you that they're positive.
And that is the reason I wanted you on here, and I thank you again. So then people start talk.
They start talk.
I know that you're a strong woman and your head always up on your body and you hold your head high, but it never did kind of break you down sometimes, like to know that you're going to work on
when I'm by myself.
I
don't show my breakdown in front of people. My mom always teach me that. Don't ever let people know how you feel. You understand?
Yes.
Better way come home, you go in the bathroom and let it out, scream it out, but not in front of people. Never let nobody know your weakness. But I tell people that I can break down and cry too, because I do get emotional at times.
Did your job, or your superiors, your bosses, anybody let you felt like you were less than, or they rally around you and say, listen, you know, Miss Joan is a great worker and leave her alone?
I remember when I was at the company working, and I can always call their name because they're not afraid of me doing it. I was working with Jamaica Biscuit Company. And I remember when my she's not here now, she's away, and she called me in the office and she said, Joan, you and I need to talk. And she said, please, just tell me the truth. And I started to cry, and she embraced me and said the truth. And I told her the truth. I didn't hide it anymore and tell her the reason why I was afraid. Because remember, you cannot let go if you don't accept. So I didn't accept it. I couldn't deal with what it is.
Can't let go.
Right? So
accept.
When I told her that, no, there are times when I used to have this coughing, right? And I went in and asked for some days from work because I wasn't feeling well. And the lady in the office, which is the HR department, she said, Joan, what you want? I said, please, I want some time off. But then again, if I don't get the time off, how is the job going to be done? So I wasn't only thinking of myself, I was thinking of my work. Well. And then the manager said, give her some time off. So they gave me the time off so I can go. But based on when people started to talk now, I was working in Spanish Town at the time when someone came up to me and said, "Yes, one girl I see you have here that you want me just burst out say see me and me."
Yeah.
You know, I'm sick of this. And then same time I took up the phone and I called my supervisor. I said, "Are we having meeting this week?" Because it's like every other week we have meeting. And she said, yes. I said, my boss here, what? Can I lead the meeting this week? She said, lead the meeting, yes, because I have something to share. That's what I said. So I went to Dr. Kong, who is my doctor. I love her so much. I said, Dr. Kong, never disclose, you know. She said, yeah, man. It is not an, you know, oh, what you're going to say, this how people are going to deal with you. I said, listen, this is my fear. And if I don't face it now, I don't know when I'm going to face it. So I want to deal with it now. Right. And she said she's going to send Ainsley Reid with me as a backup, as a form of support. Right. But I didn't need him. No, I didn't. So in that meeting, I stood up in the room. It's bigger than this with everybody. And I said, listen, we all come into this world, but we don't know how we are going to go out. Right. We have AIDS, you have cancer, you name it. Man get prostrate. But for those who know and for those who don't know, Joan is HIV positive.
And what was the reaction?
Tears start to fall down the eyes of who didn't know, because here I am loving with everybody and nobody knows.
Nobody knew.
You understand? And the CEO was behind me, which I didn't know she was there. And she came, she's from Trinidad. She's now working with Bank of Nova Scotia. And she came and she embraced me. And she said, girl, I am so proud of you. And I want you all to send home Joan for 3 months with pay. Yeah. And I went home and get my rest and back at my job.
Back at your job.
But I took down sick and my brain was shut down for 1 year afterwards. I couldn't help myself. I almost died. And because of that, I had to get medical redundancy from that organization.
You got sick because of the virus?
Nobody knows. They told me that I had encephalitis of the brain because my memory was gone. I couldn't do nothing for myself. I couldn't brush my teeth. I couldn't bathe myself. There's nothing that I could do for me. So my son has to be the one to do all of those little things. And the medical officials, they couldn't tell whether or not it was affiliated with or associated with your illness. No. But then, because my speech all changed. My son foreigner. I never left Jamaica yet. Miss Joan, sure. So then... I have an accent. So then you got better? God's grace. Wow. For 1 year, I've been lying in my bed. Let me tell you something, Miss Joan, right? I think that God, there's a purpose for you. Yeah, I think so too. And I think throughout all of that, you're here to tell your story. Because there are persons who are going to be watching who might be positive and don't know how to embrace it and live with it. So I think, you know, you being here and you sharing your stories publicly gives hope. It does. To many persons. There are many people living with this virus right now. They don't know how to cope. And as I said, I love that you've said, there are days when you feel out of it and mentally you're drained and you feel like giving up. But there are also positive days. And you're there 20 years after, you're bubbly, your personality, 20 years, that next year I'll be 60. Really? Yeah, November coming, I'll be 60 years old. Wow. So I'm not a baby. You're not a baby. But the thing is, you know, I loved what Suzanne. Mm-hmm. So the first time I came out publicly, I was about to ask you that, was the 11th of July. That is when with Ainsley, when I was at work, when I came out. So I come out in the Observer, the Jamaica Observer. So that's my first public. They reached out to you? Yeah, no, I went with Carlson's wife because you have discrimination in the workplace. So I accompanied her there because I was affiliated with GPA, Greater Involvement of People Living with HIV. That was formed by Ainsley Reid. Before you even go there, and we have a short time span left for this episode because time flies when we're having a good conversation. The first time, other than coming out and letting your workplace know that, hey, I'm HIV positive, the first time now you're going to come out to the general public, what made you think to yourself that
I want to tell people. I
Well,
want people to know.
I was in a circle, a round table, talking about HIV and how to deal with people. Now, in that session, a conversation came up where one of the ladies who was there said, all of the people have to put in a barrel and roll down a hill. No, she struck me with a nail.
Yeah.
Right? So that time I had up my ear, catch up in one, my toe ponytail over my lashes, and I was showing my tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I stand up. So I said, me for throwing in a barrel and roll down a hill. After you know HIV passes, but that's the thing, now I have no face. So here I am, at the time I was going 10 years. And the lady who was sitting beside me was the editor for the Sunday Observer for that day. Miss Stephens? I said, yes. Positive now for 10 years. And that was when she said, no, you're not left for 10 years, give me an interview. And that was when I came out in the Jamaica Observer.
What was that reception like?
Oh God, everybody in my scheme read that.
Wow.
And it overwhelming to see that they do. But what even drive it more is when I did Susan.
Oh, you went on Susan as well?
Yes, because I keep on watching Susan. Couldn't get called Susan, can't get Susan, baby love. Me go to Susan church. And I wait till when she pushed the door. I said, Susan, I need to be on your program.
Yes.
And it's not about just me. I want to reach the person who is in our room sitting by him or herself who decide to commit suicide to make them know their life still goes on. And she said, okay, then and I got the interview. When I went there now, she asked me if she's going to screen my face. And I said, why did I bother come here? I'm not hiding anything.
Yeah.
I want the whole world.
You want the world to know your story.
Me.
And I love that about you.
You understand? Because anybody can be on a screen and you can all change my voice on me, but from them must see me and me, they must see.
Right.
My family didn't want me to do it. Because people come talk about HIV. I said, it's not what you do in life, it's how you do it. You do not know whose life I can impact on. And I was glad because sometimes some people stop me and say, are you Missy Pine? Or when I did the Susan, I was going up the stairs of Pavilion and a girl stopped me and say, you don't know what you do for me. I am so glad. She don't know what she do for me. I feel good. That make me feel more empowered.
I love that you're very open about your story, Mr. Joan. And continue being open, continue sharing, continue using your voice as much as possible. And, that is why I have platforms like this, so, people like you, can't come out and talk about your story so others can feel more comfortable. Every single one of us. So 20 years, no, almost 21 years. How do you feel now? Like physically, mentally, how are you?
Good man, I feel damn good. I don't let HIV stop me. And I'm sorry you couldn't get to see this video that I did. I don't remember her name, so I think she come from Grenada, but she was with Jane Plus at the time. And she took me to Emancipation Park and I did a video there. And early later I know that life is like the plants. If you don't nurture it, it doesn't grow. So that is how life is. You have to nurture you, that you can bloom. And not because having HIV you now go want to have sex. Of course you want to have sex, you want to laugh and skin up just the same.
As you touch on that quickly, dating. Now I did a topic on my radio show because I have a radio show as well. And I did a topic on it about deal breakers in relationships. Like secrets that people have. Maybe got break up with them, right? And one of the scenarios where if it is that you found out your partner has HIV and you and them been dating now for 3 years, how would you react to it? A lot of people are saying that they're gonna left because they feel like you should have just told me the truth from day one.
I believe in that too.
That's your stance as well.
Yeah.
But what about what I was saying, because I was playing a devil's advocate?
But I wouldn't left the person. Because we have to remember that some person, you have to give people time to be comfortable.
That's what I was saying. I said, I understand you might feel like you have been
cheated.
Manipulated me.
Right.
You should have told me this from day one, but let it be known. What if I like you and I don't want to scare you away?
That is the same thing. You come back to what my discussion that I had a peer-to-peer support group yesterday.
Right.
I said there's two sides to everything. You know the individual and you know you're getting involved with him. You can at that point in time, as the relationship tends to get entwined. But he can in the same position like you two and don't tell you neither. Not that he's hiding it. But give the person time. You understand me? Just that you know that you practice safe sex. Because if you don't, the outcome might be. But it's not for you to just run left because anything happen to anybody in life,
Tell us now about when they say that it is now undetectable. What is that exactly? All
right, undetectable is because of taking the meds on time every time. I don't think it's only meds alone. Kill me.
And when you say on time though, you have to take it like at a certain time per day?
I took mine 7 o'clock every night.
You have to take it every The same time every day, Miss Joan?
Sometimes 2 hours might pass like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, but I do not.
Take it the same time
every day. Right. But you have 2 hours before and you have 2 hours after.
There's a grace period, right.
And if 10 o'clock come, trust me, I push it down my foot if I forgot when 7.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to let like the next morning and go do it again because that's a different cycle. But when they say undetectable, no, it's that you know, when they draw the blood now and they know the test for the amount of virus in the system, they are not seeing that. So they say that what the pill does is just suppress it. But it's still there.
So then you can have unprotected sex with the person
because
and the person not get it.
Right. But then again, you have to remember safe because just in case have it and never tell you when your body get reinfected.
So you can get reinfected?
Yes, you can.
Thank you for educating us.
And when you get reinfected, which pill are we going to go back on? Because you have line 1, line 2, line 3.
Explain quickly.
Line 1 now is like them give them the ritonavir and lamivudine, and then they might give you effervescin. You have them have some ugly name that sometimes I can't remember.
So different type of pills?
Different because me ain't not going to on the same meds. It depends on the strain that you have.
Wow.
So it's a different strain. Yeah. Because when I remember telling somebody that my pill is only 300 mg, and the person lives in America, because I tend to join groups what is in America about HIV, just to see it. That is how I come up with the Open Spire Vision. She sent a picture out one day and said, give us the acronym of how you would use HIV. And I just lie there and I said, we all have hope. Yeah, we just need to be inspired because we have a vision one day for own a house. We start mine now, we should fit on me not have the money, but at least we still start.
At least we start.
At least we start. But
we'll get there.
You know, but we will get there.
Also, on the conversation of medication, I just want you to also just a little bit. You said that back then it was more expensive. Is it easier or easily accessible now for medication? Is it cheaper? Stuff like that?
You get it for free.
You get it for free?
It is for free.
I never know that too. See?
Because the government subsidizes it.
Really?
Right.
So, persons with HIV, you know, they can get it for free.
Right.
Stuff like that. Do you ever... But. Tell me the but.
It is there for free. The care in the facility is there. But how do you deal with individuals?
They don't offer counseling and stuff like that?
It's not to say that they don't offer counseling. What they offer is, in most places, is discrimination. And that's a bad fish.
What I'm going to do for the next couple of minutes, I ask on social media, what are some of the stigmas? Because we've all heard of them. Some of the stigmas attached to or associated with HIV. So I'm going to just read some of the responses, and then we can maybe touch on it just a little bit, if you wish. So the first one was from Coca Butter. She says that 1, that you can't live a full life if you have it, and 2, that if the parent is pregnant with the baby, will automatically be born with it.
No,
those are stigmas. You are living a full life, 20 years plus, vibrant as ever.
And persons who are HIV positive can have a healthy bond child without being able to live. Because what they do when once the doctors found out that the mother is pregnant, they give you a different type of drugs that do not let the virus transmit to the child. Mother. So if the child is born with the HIV, it's because the mother didn't let the pre-pregnancy HIV positive first and foremost, and the next thing is them no longer clinic. So if you're going to the clinic and the doctor know that you're positive, you get the medication. Jamaica is the first country in the whole entire world who has come up with where you don't have mother-to-child transmission.
I love that. I love that.
You understand me? So anybody make them children born with that, no, them one.
Also from next underscore, I think this is right Cage. She basically was saying the same thing, that thinking that your child has to have it as well.
No,
and it's a certain death, basically the same thing. Cash Mom says it's the belief that only gay men can contract the virus, which is unbelievably false. That's also another stigma. Society think that only persons who are gay get this virus. So why you think so them things that Mr. Joan tell me?
Because they start that from day one. From day one they have it that is gay men cause HIV to be here. From day one. And if you notice, in that little world where gay men are concerned, they are more bash and they are more afraid of going for treatment because of how they're gonna be dealt with in the healthcare facility.
And discriminated against.
Yeah, right.
All right. Ty_Ty, she says persons with HIV/AIDS look sickly and very skinny. For example, weight
loss. She wants my picture?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing.
They can,
a lot of people think that as well.
They can, because you do not know, they can have other underlying issues.
Right. Or they maybe not take the medication, Miss June.
Exactly.
Okay, so this one is kind of lengthy. This is from Emma. Emma says that folks think that they're going to get infected if they interact with people that has it. Many folks still lack knowledge about the disease, this disease, and we think, we need to fix that. That's why we have conversations like these. Yeah, and she said it is okay to touch folks. It's okay to eat from them, be humane to them if they have HIV. She also says many people feel like individuals with HIV feel so isolated because of lack of support they experience in their community. People fear that they don't understand folks need to be more aware, and some employers won't hire you if you're HIV positive. Is that true?
That's true.
About the employer's part, it is?
If they know.
But why?
They know. That's why I see it just come back now like with COVID. How far different COVID is from HIV. How far different it is. Come on, people need, the thing is this, what people need to know. And I'm saying lack of knowledge is a very important thing, because they're not educated on what is going on. They see it as something that if me touch your back, me get it. But listen, it in your nose and you don't even know it. It in your bed and you don't even know it. Because it's not something that you can see. Right? All HIV people need is just for love and support.
Right.
And if we are getting the love and support that we need, it wouldn't be so terrible.
Definitely.
We don't have that thing under control.
Definitely.
Because guess what? You will have more people coming in for care, because when you come in, the nurse treat them with the same respect that them treat the man in the white collar tie will come to the door.
So you think that the health officials, they don't treat people the same way?
Most of them don't.
They're
Most
very
of them bash people.
Really?
They do. Because I had a support group last week, and the girl got because of where she's living, everybody know that she's HIV positive. That have her like that. Our child didn't get to do exam because they don't keep on telling him say a long time mama AIDS. Come on. Almost you do things like that. Youth
Advocate JA, thank you so much for reaching out. They said a lot of people link HIV diagnosis to promiscuity or deviant sexual practices. And in our conservative society, there are multiples of negatives associated with that. The people feel like say anybody will have it after run up and down, have sex with a bunch of different people.
No.
You were
one night.
You were also
I'm married and had
married.
When you never up and down, I wasn't living promiscuous.
You're right.
And promiscuous people not catch nothing.
And it's the same thing that this Leo girl says, if you touch it, some people say they don't want to touch or drink from them and them like something there.
Yes,
or even have casual interactions. Killer Instinct says, believe that it's a gay disease, which I think society make we think so. I'm going to just read a few more of these, Miss Joan. Dark Empire said that, people think it's a death sentence. Sue, let me just read this one. This was a good one. She says that where to start, people don't bad when it comes down to HIV and AIDS. She said, thanks to Jane, is this Jane Cyril? Or JNS Euro. Okay. Love that. And she said, and the work that they're doing offers clarity. Thank you, Ali_Al for that. And Queen Nice, she says, one, people think it's a death sentence. Everybody have been saying that. Two, them say you can't find love or happiness.
You can.
You happy bad, Miss Joan. But I ask, based on what I've seen. Three, she said, some people think that it can be spread by physical touch. Everybody always been thinking that. Or people think that you can't bear children, but you said that there are ways.
There are ways of you can get pregnant. You just inform your healthcare facility, because it's not everybody in the healthcare facility is bad. It's not everybody in there.
Okay, I'm gonna just read this one from Country. She says, and it's more of pointers, right? She was saying that people still think HIV diagnosis is a death sentence, and a lot of hopelessness exists with it. Some persons believe that they can catch HIV for mundane daily interactions. Family shuns persons and their offspring if they found out their diagnosis.
They do.
Accessing healthcare is difficult because HCW also exhibit bias and scornfulness in treatment. Persons are afraid to go to pharmacies, clinics, and even for routine testing because of interactions with the healthcare system can be so offensive. There is also an assumption that all HIV plus persons are loose, immoral, or victims of abuse. Miss Joan, the same thing that we're saying. Now, quickly, just let us know now. I want you to give your last words to healthcare system. How can we better? How can we treat persons with HIV and AIDS better? How can we let them feel more welcomed or more of a human? You know, but because you say a lot of them people they look down upon them, and they're supposed to be trained professionals.
But you remember, a lot of us are in the job not because of what we love.
Right.
They're just in it because of the money.
Right.
Until we start to see people as human beings.
Yes.
Just like it's and everybody see we as human beings. And it's not everybody deal with people as human beings. But here we are, just like how we have the police where it's supposed to protect and serve. Them can bash you too.
Right.
The nurse is there to, when you go in, to see what is your complaint, what is it that you're going through, and guide you through that. But do they do that?
No.
Some of them don't.
Right.
Right? It's like with your mom or your sister or your brother. She find out say you stay so, and then you used to drink out of a glass cup, and then tonight she give you a plastic cup and plastic plate. And every night you see it keep on happening until eventually she push you through the door and put you in the dark kennel, because I have a girlfriend, that's where they put her when they found out she was HIV positive.
In the dark
Our
kennel.
own and family. So if it starts just like when growing a child, you teach it how to walk, and each time that it fall, you help him up and balance him so he can be. It like goes on the same way. We might become adults, but we still need guidance.
So for society in general, we just need to be
More loving
as humans.
Of course.
Do you think that we need to also have more forums where these things are?
Yes, because they are not educated, and some of them not coming out to the forum. That is the whole thing. But if they are in a settings where they can hear what people go through. Because even in the peer-to-peer support group, you know, when you invite others, I mean, I come because me I got somebody with me know.
Right.
No, come on. What is it? Why is the person there too?
Okay.
Because they're in the same situation that you are in, don't
on.
it? And come on, you're in a space where you can share. You might not share in the general public, but at least you can let out what is inside you. And eventually, it takes time to evolve.
Gradually, you're going to, right.
So I tell them, you might not be Joan, but Joan will be your voice.
Wow. And just lastly, Mr. Joan, can you just, for people who are living with HIV, they might just found out, they might have it for many years.
And don't even know,
or don't even know, or for the persons who are still trying to cope with it after many years, what would be your last couple of words to them?
It come back down to the same word, hope and love.
Hope
because
and
you
love.
can't give up.
You can't give up.
It's not something that you're going to say, all right, then get it to them, be dead tomorrow. You're dead tomorrow, yes, if you start to don't fret about it. Anything you fret about will kill you.
Anything at all.
Anything, if a flu.
Yes.
So, all right, yes, I have this. You didn't want it, but it's here. Father God asking for strength.
Find ways and means.
And that is I got baptized, and I believe that there's someone out there greater than me. And if he had went through all of that torture, and he still asked for forgiveness,
yes,
ask God to forgive them just the same.
Right.
But love you first.
Love you first.
Love you first. Put you first. So regardless of the fact that here I am HIV positive, do I let it stop me? No. When I found out and I was lying in my bed, yes, I wanted us to give up. But somebody sent me a clipping about this little short man. I think he's a motivator speaker for all over the world. He has no hands and no foot.
I saw, yes, I know him.
And that someone sent to me. And I lie in my bed and I listen to what it was saying. And I said, all right, this man have not enough foot. He might move up and down, see him here. Me have every part of my body. HIV in me, it not. And it around me and me, it a pay rent where me is concerned. Till me ready to say it with Vic. It a Vic with this.
Right.
The mindset.
Yes.
So the moment you start to think positively, everything about your body flows.
I love that.
You understand me? So when I got that was when I pick up myself and say, I don't care a hell about nobody. This is me, and me I live for me. And that I tell you on the I want to live to be 225.
Yes.
Great stuff.
Thank you so much, Miss Joan, for coming here. Thank you for sharing your story. I thank God for your strength.
Thank
I
you.
hope that you will continue to have the hope to inspire and also have the vision, right? So you hear it here from Miss Joan, a person living with HIV for 20 plus years, and she's as vibrant as possible. When I ask her personality, you give me hope, right?
Okay,
and I hope that you continue like this. And anytime at all you even want me to do anything, I'll be here. You know, thank you for sharing your story on my platform. Thank you for being here. Until next time, guys, remember my radio show, Bwoyatingz After Dark, every Tuesday night, 8 to 11 p.m. on Newstalk 93 FM. Until next week, Sunday, you'll have a new episode of this podcast. Remember to go ahead and follow Cattleya Perfect 10, drive unique cars, and the Epic Weekend. So, thank you to my team, the Bombcast. Thank you, Davion, my production assistant. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Until next time, this is Bwoyatingz After Dark, Karim Bwoyatingz. Bwoyatingz Podcast. Why am I always after that?